to in a while. So this is it. Let's find out why Dane is not on time. If you're not 15 minutes, oh, here's a some bitch. Well, hello there. I
Uh-oh,
can't
he
hear.
says recording in process. You got
That's
me?
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
I
yeah.
got you. So, how old were you when you lost your virginity?
Damn, boy, jumping right in. Knew this was going to be one of them
Was I
calls.
there?
No. Nah, hell no. That was Texas.
Oh, okay.
I don't know,
Did it
16?
have horns?
Horns. No. No horn. What? Horns? What do you mean? Oh,
Yeah,
no, no,
a
no.
bull.
Ah, I got you. No, no, no. It wasn't much better than that, but no, no horns. No.
Oh, no horns. All right,
No
I'm
horns.
gonna crank up the volume here a little bit.
Oh, shit.
How you doing, man? You doing well?
I'm good, dude. Are you at home or where you at?
I'm at home. Yeah, yeah.
You,
Do you
yeah,
like
yeah.
animals?
I do cats
You got
mostly.
cats? I see one right
We,
there.
buddy, hey, fat boy. Yeah, he's got to go to the
That
vet
cat
tomorrow.
has not missed a meal.
He is 25 pounds. Hey, psst. He's
How
got a
big is
problem.
20? How many
25.
pounds?
He's supposed to be about 18, but he's 28.
Jeez,
Psst.
dude.
Anyways. No,
I've
you
got
know what I have to do with him? He eats out of one of those toys because he eats too much. So I have to put it in this little thing. He pushes it around. He's supposed to get exercise, but he's figured out how to flip it over. Just eats
it
it all.
slows him
Doesn't
down from eating, right?
I would think, but I don't know if it actually works. But we'll see. He
Yeah.
goes to the vet tomorrow. Hopefully, he lost a pound. So,
Hey, cheers, brother. Oh, hang on, my
cheers, dude.
sponsor.
Good to see you.
Oaklandish.
Oh, hell
It's
yeah.
Oakland with an ish.
All right.
Mm.
All right. Go.
I'm a pretty big deal, dude. So
That's good.
I've got
All
a,
right.
I've got a, I'm about to euthanize my dog. Um,
Oh, oh, how
yeah,
old?
he's 3 weeks old, but I don't like the way he looks at me. No, this son bitch is, he's about 16,
Oh,
16 and
that's
a
good.
half. Yeah,
Yep,
he's
yep.
got one eye. Oh, come here, you
Oh,
son bitch.
oh, jeez.
Yeah, so this is him right here. He's got like one eye.
Oh, look at that motherfucker. That's
He's
awesome.
old.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. He's the man. All right.
Yeah, I fed
That's
him this evening, and while he was eating, he was literally pissing all over the floor at the same time.
that's
So,
it's tube
what
gets
can you
worn
do,
out
son?
out the
Let me shut this door. It's pouring down rain.
ah, lucky you. We got nothing here.
Man, it's not rained in like weeks, and
I
now it's
know.
just
It's
coming
not
down like flood. So
need
that's
it.
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the first cuss word you ever threw out there?
It would have been shit, of course. I think it was
Shit. That's
shit.
a
Yeah.
good one.
I just
Yeah.
saw. We just saw. I had some neighbors up the street. His mom took us to see what's that damn Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor prison movie
Oh,
comedy.
oh
Stir
shoot.
Crazy. I think it was Stir
Was that
Crazy. Stir
Stir
Crazy.
Crazy? Yeah.
For my
And then
first
there was
rated
the
R
one where
movie
Richard Pryor was blind and Gene Wilder was. They did like three
was
or four
yeah,
that were just incredible.
yeah, hits. Amazing. Those two. Can't do no wrong. Can't do no wrong with that.
I was so excited, like you've seen Blazing Saddles,
That
and those
was
sons
one
of
of the best
bitches.
movies ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
and they wanted to have Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor helped write it, and they wanted Richard Pryor to be the black sheriff.
Holy
And
shit.
he's like, I'm not going to do that. We need somebody else to do it because he's Richard Pryor, from what I've heard, said he didn't want to say the N word so much on camera,
Right.
which
My
obviously
favorite
was a joke.
My favorite part of that movie is when Harvey Korman, when is trying to run away at the end, and he wanders into that food fight, that giant food fight, and he looks at the camera and goes, "Motherfucker!" You know, you can read it. You know, he goes, "Motherfucker," and I was like, "Ah, motherfucker. It was
Oh,
like, wow, how much fun they must have had on that fucking movie.
who was
You
that?
know,
Mel Brooks. He wrote a
Brooks, man.
movie. He had a movie called Silent Movie. Not many people know about it,
Oh, I don't know about
but
that one. Holy shit.
the only line in it is a mime that's looking at everybody, and the mime goes, "Well, shit." The only line in the entire movie. Yeah. So, all right. When did we meet?
Shit, it must have been 91. Yeah,
Do you
fall of
remember?
91.
Yeah. How did? Let me see. Do you know how we became connected and ended up being roommates? Because neither of us had roommates at all.
I had to either be like the admin, USC Southern Mississippi admin, or I don't think I did our because that's they do sometimes they get their interests and then they find out they have their own systems where somebody in
Yeah.
so I don't know, and it wasn't our parents, they didn't know each other or nothing,
Yeah.
so it wasn't.
We were like in a round of eight, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other, and it was all music majors, and we
Uh-huh.
started talking about guitar, and
Oh shit, you're
we knew
right.
Jason Becker. We were
Right.
like named back and forth each fucking album that was on the back cover of Guitar Player.
God damn. So this was like at the thing where we went in the summer before, and
Yeah,
they had us all hanging
yeah.
out. That's right. Holy shit!
And then and
Yeah, I
then
totally
like I
forgot
don't know
about
if it
that.
was me or you, but it's like, and everybody else in the table was talking about like Baroque music. Which didn't
Right,
you
right.
end up in Baroque composition at Berkeley? I can't remember.
No, I
But
mean,
they were talking this nerd music, and we're sitting here
yes,
talking about like Metal Blade Records,
we were talking about
Anvil, shit,
shrapnel.
and we're
Fucking,
like, "Do you want to be roommates?"
we were talking
I
about
maybe
Mike
you have.
Varney.
I don't remember,
I
but
do
we.
now that you say that. I do freaking remember because that was that troll. That weird, uh, where they yeah, that weird thing you go in the summer. I mean, it was hot as a motherfucker,
Yeah,
and you go. That's where I met. You meet. I met. Did what's his name? Giovanni Di
De,
Chiaro, the
De
class
Chiaro. Yeah,
yeah, and did a little this or that, and then yeah, then they we ended up hanging out at whatever that thing was. Just fucking blowing my mind. Yeah, it's like I was like I don't even remember that so
I
much.
can't tell you what I did an hour ago, but I remember that shit. Hey, do you remember having to? We helped John De Chiaro. We helped De
Hmm.
Chiaro move from one apartment to another apartment, and
Oh
he gave
Jesus.
us
Oh,
two 6 packs of Coors Light. When we were freshmen, we're like, "This is the shit." You
dude,
don't remember
I
that?
I barely.
I will pull back from
Holy
I'll pull
shit.
back from our freshman year memories. Of course, there was
No,
the handy pantry. I got
I'm
to bring
trying to
that one up.
remember. I remember some of this. You're saying stuff, but I'm like, is he implanting these memories or do these actually happen? I'm like,
I'm almost positive. I don't know.
no, it
Uh,
does something about that. That dude wasn't gonna be able to move anything. Jesus,
Hell no. Uh,
Shit,
he
we
was a
were getting big
fun,
back.
awkward fellow, man.
Yeah, he was an awkward dude.
Did,
Yeah.
did I get? I can't remember now. Am I wrong? Did you have a chance to play at Texas, like in baseball and stuff? Because you were
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
hitting
So
left-handed. You were
originally,
left-handed catcher, right?
no, I was left-handed hitter, and then I was a switch hitter at that point, kind of, in high
Yeah,
school. And I got to go try out for UT, University of
yeah.
Texas. They called me back for whatever, because back then being a catcher, and
The switch hitting
left,
catcher, man. You were killing it.
yeah, it was something. And so I went down to they did it was interesting. We did the whole. They took us to the 50-yard line box and at the stadium, and it was like
Oh,
flaming and
they were
and
selling you, man.
promising us all this shit.
Yeah,
I brought my guitar with me the whole time, and I was like, nah. Dad was
yeah.
he's all pissed off. He wasn't pissed off. He was always great, but it was like I'm in the hotel practicing guitar after this whole stuff. And he's like, fuck. I got my like
So you,
freaking
yeah. So you chose Southern Miss and Bond Hall, which smelt like piss constantly. over
Yeah.
UT Austin. Did your dad help you with that, or was that pure talent on your part?
Well, I'm sure he knew somebody, but the thing I always think about is like I could throw hard, run fast back then, relatively for a high school student. I was
Yeah,
same size I am now, which could work back then, but I didn't grow another fucking inch since then. So it's like
yeah.
I would have been screwed. I would have been 5'9", 180 pound, which doesn't work. Modern baseball, those dudes are huge now. I mean, the little guys
Jesus.
are like six
You
three.
see, like freaking
It's
Aaron
crazy.
Judge, he's like six
Yeah,
seven. He's a fucking beast.
can't be a
Do you,
normal human in that
yeah. Do you
world
still
anymore.
keep up with baseball, or are you just like, ah,
Not at all. I usually want to try and catch a World Series. I missed it this year, but
yeah.
I used to
It was
be
a
like
pretty
I
good one
always
this
used.
year.
I heard
Oh,
was
go
yeah. I
ahead.
catch up. When I talk to my dad, he fills me in on the, like he said that superstar guy that hurt his shoulder. What's his name?
Oh, Hideki Asa- I want to say it was Hideki. Ah, shit. The
Oh
Japanese
no, he
dude.
was. Yeah, yeah, I don't know if he's definitely got some of that in him, but he's a tall Tino.
He plays both ways. He's a pitcher
Yeah, and
and he's a hitter.
that guy,
DH now that he's in
he's
the.
he's
He's
insane.
insane, dude.
Unfortunately, yeah. So my dad, even like a year or so ago, was just talking about how I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Hideki
He's like,
Matsui. Yeah.
that's him. He was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life, in my whole career. He's like, I
And your
have.
dad found Pudge Rodriguez, if I
Uh,
recall.
yeah, Padre Rodriguez, Alec, whatever, Juan Gonzalez,
Yeah.
uh, all kinds of guys. So,
So, all right, tell me all of the cities you lived in before you went to the wonderful city of Hattiesburg.
no one. Well, yeah. I mean, we were as a kid. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and then we moved to San Diego, and then we moved to Texas, Arlington, Texas, when my dad
Two
was with the
beautiful
Rangers.
beaches, Jacksonville and San Diego. And then you
All
got
like I-20
Tejas.
one side, I-20 the other side. It was like when we moved, it was like get on I-20 and go all the way across, and then
What the
come
fuck were you
back.
doing in Jacksonville?
My dad was with the scouting bureau, and that's where they put him back then.
Oh, okay.
So
Was there a minor
and
league team there?
it was.
Oh, he
I
was
have
just
no
doing
clue.
regional shit. He
It
was
was
doing
regional.
regional shit, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jacksonville was a nice place. It was cool. Jacksonville was nice. It was, from what I know, I was
Yeah.
fucking five, but
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
but
I lived just south of there in St. Augustine, and
yeah.
it's completely shit. That whole place is just crazy now with everybody moving there. But anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jacksonville, San
San
Diego,
Diego.
then Arlington.
Then end up in Arlington for high school kind of thing, but around like age 11 to like high school, and then went off to USM, you know,
Yeah.
freshman year,
And
and
did
then
you flunk out or just leave?
man, I left a 3.8 thanks to you mainly. I remember I used to give you the chicken scratch, and you're the
Really?
only guy with a computer. Hell, man, I remember that shit. I'd give you like the most chicken scratch shit. I didn't know how to write. I can spell my own fucking name,
Yeah,
and you
it's
had the
got me
computer,
everywhere, man.
and you would type that shit up in like an hour, and
I
I'd be like, "Holy, I
remember
read it in."
two
And
things,
she'd
and
take
then
me
I'll
like,
get off this Hattiesburg bullshit. But
"Ah,
two things that have always stuck out in my mind was like I think I was asleep or maybe not quite asleep, and I think you were getting like fellatio from a French horn player I knew.
yep,
Uh,
that sounds about right."
yeah,
Yeah,
and then wasn't there
I
a
remember.
I hope this yeah this is just going on. It's going to be public, but nobody knows.
Nobody knows who you're talking about, right? And
Nobody's
it's a
even going to
common
be
thing.
looking at this shit.
It's
Oh, you
talking.
remember
They're
the
talking
mule
30
mouse?
some years ago. The what?
We had that little white mouse that just would
Oh
just
yeah, that was later. We were. That was a gold. That was different. Yeah, and I think we called him Buddy or something. Even I don't even remember what his name was.
I
Balls.
don't
Maybe
know
he had
what
them
his name
big
was,
balls hanging out the back.
but all right. And then this
No,
is
that was
a bit.
epic. That was epic. I
We would
still
watch
got.
not Looney Tunes, but like Tiny Tunes, and we were
Yep.
like shirtless eating Fruit Loops off our
I remember
belly,
this.
and that little mouse would just be running around, and We didn't give a shit about it, and
Remember that
we
girl
were
that
so
tried to come? She tried to come sell magazines. She somehow got in the dorm, and I
yeah,
was laying there literally on my back, got no shirt. And that was when we were lifting. We were big, man. I was the
yeah,
strongest I ever
yeah,
been. I was benching 300 pounds. I was like
yeah.
198 eating that freaking
And
dorm
I had
food.
like an 8 pack, dude, because I
You
was
were
skinny, but
ripped.
I was,
You were
oh
up.
gosh.
You were benching plates, man. I mean, it was like holy shit. That's all we did is drink 40s and lift weights. Really, if you
I
think about it.
remember, uh, like I ran into you. We got to meet up in fucking like you met me at a guitar center or something in New York, and we hadn't seen each other
Yep.
in
Oh God,
decades.
yeah, that was when I was working a
And
corporate gig.
you finally gained some weight, and I have yet to continue not gaining weight. I'm
That
a fat
well,
ass.
no, no, it's it's one of those things. It's like I was when we were doing when we were lifting daily and we were eating at that damn uh, cafeteria.
Yeah,
That U.S. cafeteria was the food was amazing. I mean, I still think about that. I mean, that food was killer. And all we did was eat and then lift, drink 40s, and then get into trouble, and then do it again the next day. And
exactly.
then so I got up to like 198 pounds, I think I was when I was because me and Roger had that who's going to pinch 315
Oh
first
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and I was like, we are putting on the weight, you were putting on the weight too, and then I looked like a stupid freaking uh, fire hydrant though because we never did any legs. It was all
Hip
like up
legs.
here. My legs were all normal, and I was like all like this, like a fucking
All
But and then
toothpicks.
I went to like what this is whatever this would have been 20 something years later. When I got a gig in the city at Midtown doing working in a cubicle. All your only break was to smoke cigarettes and eat. So
Hmm.
if you wanted to get away from anything, you either had to go to the roof, smoke a cigarette, and then you went on your lunch break and you just ate as much as you could. I got up then and I got up to the same weight, but it was the same thing. And then I remember when I finally quit that gig, I was like, okay, I'm just cutting portions out in half. I just was like, I'm just gonna always eat half what I eat, and I've done that ever since. And I don't work out much, but if you just don't eat, that's the thing. I mean, it's like that's what did it for me. Within a, a year, I'm like 168 pounds, which is actually a little skinny. I'd rather be
Yeah, dude.
lifting or
You need to
bigger,
eat a
but
cheeseburger.
I need to,
You
yeah,
know,
just add a, but yeah, yeah.
I
But
stopped
I need,
eating. I started like a while back, and I'm losing weight. I stopped eating. I don't eat after 8 o'clock,
that's good.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I'll still have some drinks and stuff after that, but
yeah.
no
That's the
food,
hard.
nothing like that. And
Yeah.
in the South, everything is so fucking unhealthy, man. It's
So
like,
good
and I
though.
travel a
God damn
lot,
it.
and every convenience store has like fried chicken and fried catfish. It's
And
fucking
it's
nuts.
dude, I would be in. I'd have no chance down. You know what I thought of the
Yeah.
other day? A good friend of my dad's, Billy Earnhardt, died last week, and you and me, we went to the Conestoga with him back in college. Remember, I was
Holy
wondering,
shit! Was he
remember
down?
the
Were they watch?
steakhouse?
Yeah. Yeah,
He was the
it's not
redheaded
there
guy.
anymore. But yeah,
Yeah,
that was the best steakhouse. Did he come down?
best.
Was he help scouting like a UT
He was
first
in
baseman? I
Jackson.
could. Yeah,
Yeah, he was down for something, and we went out. Me and you and him went out to the Conestoga. He took us out for steaks, and
yeah,
that was the best, still the best steak I think I've ever had. I think it
dude,
was the
it was
Conestoga.
incredible. Cause
What
they
the fuck?
just, I don't know. Yeah,
Where
and
did you
I've
that
had a
meat?
couple of decent steaks since then. But hell, you were in the city. You were in New York. You had
Yeah,
all
but
sorts of.
whatever. Yeah, but
But
that's all great and fancy. But that Conestoga, man, everything about it was just that was just to this day from weird. All it's all in your head, But it's like that memory wise. I
yeah,
was like,
well, they would
God,
get all that shit because I used to go there when I'd work in Hattiesburg. I'd hit it because it was being paid by somebody else. But they would get
mhm.
all of their beef from like local farmers,
Yeah,
and they would get butchered, and you're probably eating meat that was probably butchered 2 to 3 days before that. And
right.
they didn't dry it out like there's a fancy restaurant in New
Yeah,
York where
yeah.
they
There's a
dry it out. I
dry
can't
age
remember what it
thing.
is. Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
it's like the one guy here says when you go to get this guy is known for his hot dogs up here at the farmers market, and he said that hot dog saw light on Thursday. You know, it was like, God damn, that's a good marketing term, right? You know, he's,
yes. Perfect, man.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. He's selling it to you. He
So,
goes, these things saw light on Thursday.
so you still eating meat and shit?
Yeah, I eat weed. I eat whatever, but we eat a lot of fish too. You know, I do. I cook.
Oh, I love fish.
I
Yeah.
know I'm cooking. So we eat a lot of salmon, a lot of halibut, a lot of. We like tile fish. Uh, Mainly, you know, whatever. We eat a lot of fish, and then
How far
not
are you
much.
from the, are you closer to like a Great Lake or are you closer to the Atlantic?
I'm close to. I'm like up near Albany. I'm Hudson Valley, so I'm like an
Oh,
hour.
okay.
I'm in 2 hours. I'm 100
Yeah.
miles north of New York City. So,
Oh, yeah.
uh,
Hudson Valley, man, that shit's beautiful.
yeah, it's nice.
New Paltz. How far are you from New Paltz?
15 minutes. Yeah, it's south
I
here.
love that
15 minutes.
town. We
Yeah, it's
used
a
to
neat town.
go do retreats and shit, not too far. Geronimo Resort. I don't know if it's still there, but it was
Right.
owned by these Spaniards, and we would have teachers, and we do like a week long retreat. But I would love it because like the daughter, it was a family owned business, and they lived in Spain, but then they would come during the good time when the weather was good, and they would open up
Right.
the resort and they would go topless at the swimming pool, dude. And it was just like, it's
Yep.
like, it's their culture, but it's not ours. So I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
right. It's new.
awesome.
It works as a
Okay.
bonus.
Okay. Remember, okay. This will be the last of Hattiesburg talk because I want to know, because I don't know what you did for a long time. And I'm very interested in that because, just for a lot of shit, but, I'm going to do Roger Segelski soon. And,
Great.
remember that
Awesome.
little piece, that joint? We had to pay for the PA. Somebody bought a keg of beer. We charged like
Yep.
$5 at the door, and it
Yep.
was just a horrible pay to play gig. And we had several people there, not many. And Roger gets
Yep.
shit faced at that thing. He's walking
Yep.
back to the dorm. He gets picked up for public drunk. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, before that, and I don't know why I remember details like this, but before that, he got caught pissing out the window of
Yep.
his
I remember
dorm
that.
room.
Yep. I do
And
remember that.
then, so it also, like the next week happened to be Alcohol Awareness Week. So for a week,
Sure.
he had to clean the fucking, like the shower room or whatever. Everybody shared a shower. So we had to do that. And
I remember
then,
that.
and the next week he was going to have to give a talk on Thursday night about alcohol awareness because all the shit he was doing, because they
Yeah.
found a bunch of fucking Colt 45 bottles full of piss. And the
Yep.
motherfucker lived two doors down, like
Comes
two dorm
across.
doors down, and just a nasty
It's
motherfucker.
literally
That's
the
why we
door
call him the
across.
nasty man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like we were playing on a Wednesday night, and the some bitch gets busted for public drunk. He
Yes.
can't do his Thursday night alcohol awareness speech because he's in jail for public drunk. And
Oh,
it was either you or myself is like, well, he got in a big fight last night and he's in jail and he can't make it to do his talk about alcohol
yes.
awareness,
Right.
which that some bitch
You
got into all sorts of weird stuff.
yeah.
You
He
know how
would
I asked you
always.
if yeah, I don't remember if I asked you how old you were when you lost your virginity, but you knew you lost it in Texas. I was in the same hotel room as Roger Segelski when he lost his virginity.
Right.
It was at a
Yes.
Cabot Lodge.
Nothing wrong with a
I
cabot
think you
lot.
had
Hey,
already split. You
mine was in
were
the
like,
back
did
of
you
a
go to a
Cherokee.
community college or something after that? After you left Hattiesburg, you went to a community college over in
Yeah, I just
Arlington?
went local because I didn't know what else to do. Yeah, I literally, and
Yeah.
you know what? That's what that did was show me was like, wow, this is, there's something they say about community college teachers is they're kind of disgruntled because they're teaching a community college. They kick everybody's. That was the hardest shit ever. USM
Yeah.
was easy. That was hard. I went there. I was like, "What? This? I got to actually do homework. What the fuck is this?"
I tell you,
And
that's a solid gig as a community. I mean, you want to be a community college teacher. First
yeah,
off, you're getting like, I won't get in all the benefits and all this kind of shit, but it's a solid job. If you're good at it,
yeah,
you're set. You're set
that's good.
and
Yeah,
for life if you want to do that. And
yeah.
there's a
You
lot
play
more.
that.
There are a lot better teachers, like people that are good teaching the practice at community
Yep,
colleges than at
yep.
universities. Because
I can
universities, you
see
get a
it.
lot of fuckers with PhDs and they think they know everything. They may know
Yeah,
the theory, but they don't have any idea about teaching the practice of everything. You know,
yep.
like
I
how
could have seen
De
that.
Chiaro as a teacher, how was he? Was he good?
He was good. He was very well. The whole thing was, right away because you played in the stuff. Right away I wasn't really doing the classical like I was probably supposed to be. I was, like you said, we were into frickin' Mike Varney, Shrapnel, Jason Becker, whatever. I was
Yeah.
not. I didn't know anything about I had classical because I studied classical, but just I studied it for the chops. Because I was interested in it for rocking out. And
Yeah.
he had no interest in rocking out, and he was always like, "You're not practicing your classical enough." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, but I'm playing this and I'm playing that, and we're doing this." And he was like, "Yeah," and he actually that's what kind of made me not want to come back because he actually told me he's like, "You got to stop this electric stuff. You got to cut that out." 'Cause
Oh, yeah, and he was so into the freaking stick
yeah,
with it. It's
and
like,
I was like, "Yeah, you know
the
what?
theory
That's
is
not my
like you can't do open fifths. Open fifths are the
right."
It's like, what's
Parallel
wrong? He gives a shit about the discipline anymore.
right? No,
Um,
rock is all about parallel fists. You know what I mean? Think about
yeah,
it.
every bit of
So
it.
yeah,
So
so
okay, tell me where you went
yeah, so that's what happened.
after you finished. You were at the community college in Arlington. You went to
Well, what happened is I was
Boston.
down there and I was in Texas and I was playing in the big band down in the community college. I had a good big band and I met the drummer and he knew a bass player. I ended up playing in a funk band and with horn and I ended up writing horn parts. It was great. We had percussion, drum. It was like a 7-piece band and we toured around, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. We did that kind of run and that was a blast. It was a good time, and and then I was like, what I got to do something, So I put together. I heard about the drummer and the bass player were both checking out Berkeley, and so we did and I had a friend that was at BU, so I was like, hey, let's go up and see what Berkeley's about. So we did a little weekend trip and checked out Berkeley, and it blew my mind. All of us were like, "Holy shit! You mean you can do that here? You can do this. You can rock out, and you can do this." And it,
Did you ever play the lunchroom or the cafeteria?
oh
Isn't that like
yeah,
a
the
big deal?
cafeteria. Yeah, I did a bunch of gigs at the cafeteria. Yeah, I did my own
Yeah.
solo stuff there. I did. Yeah, I could probably pull some up on YouTube of some crazy shit because from the
Oh
we had
shit.
a pretty legendary calf show back in the day. I was playing.
Hell, Dream Theater used to play there.
They
Dream
were
Theater was a cafeteria
years
band.
before me. They were literally like 2, 3 years before I got there. It was all about Dream Theater. And
Yeah.
yeah, so when I got there, I hooked up with so whatever. Did the application thing, and I didn't get any kind of scholarship or nothing, but at least I got in.
Yeah.
And thank God because, but when I got there, I tested out of the first year of theory thanks to old Raul. You remember
Jerome. Jerome.
Jerome? Oh, he was a
Yeah.
bad. I still to this day, I mean, like that guy kicked my ass. Remember, he'd get you at
Yeah.
8 in the morning when you're in that class, and he'd go around the horn, and you'd be like, "Fuck, I'm not even awake yet." But that shit stuck. And when I went to Berkeley, I tested out of a full like year or so of classes because of him. You know,
That's nuts,
so
isn't it? Some little
Raul,
piece of shit school in South
yeah,
Mississippi, but they have a strong music program, especially theory and all of that shit.
I was like,
Man.
I was within 2 years. I already done with theory class because I already knew it all because of him. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit! I didn't even know I knew it. It was like that fucking paint the fence shit,
Yeah.
wax on, wax
Well,
off shit.
what was your focus? What was your focus
Film
at
scoring.
Berkeley?
I did
Huh?
film scoring because
Yeah.
I was into composition stuff, writing for ensembles. But I was also, since I'd always had the old 4 track and I'd always had a studio in my garage, I was into the engineering side of things. So in film scoring, you get to do both. You get to be a composer, and you don't have to write music for lyrics, and you don't have to write programmatic music for with anything else in mind. You can literally write abstract sound, and if it
Yeah.
works for the visuals, you're good to go. And you got to be in the studio and work with all the recording side of things.
Well,
So
shit, you're doing abstract bullshit now. It's like well beyond abstract. I don't even know what the fuck it is,
I
but I
don't
love
know.
it.
I am not as out as I was, but I'm definitely. It's definitely like I just, you just pull, you pull something. Lately, it's not like when I guitar is literally just a place to make a starting point. It's literally just something to
You
start an idea. And then you
do
take
you,
and
do
you
you think
process it.
better horizontally, like on a piano, or do you think vertically, like a guitar? How are you thinking music now?
I'm trying. It's funny is it's like since COVID and shit, I kind of I haven't been playing. I was playing regularly before that in different bands and shit, and and then that kind of everybody had to move inward. So it was like I started to kind of go back to like I'm like, you know what? I never really learned how to play anything major. Major. Just it was just wasn't like something that I ever really thought of. And then it was just started just working with just more instead of drone because I'd always done a lot of drone modal things like that before,
Yeah.
and just getting back into how to play over a major scale. I mean, that's the hardest thing there is, even though it's the most basic thing. It seems like if as an improviser, when you're kind of getting in there, you're just kind of like you know just to kind of get into the flow of things because yeah, I don't know. I don't even think nothing's hooked up. I would pick some up, but it's not hooked up.
Ah,
Just
shit.
to, and like play and feel where your ears are going, and not judge it. Just be like, oh wait, it wants to go to a 4 chord. Oh, it wants to go to a 5 chord. Hey, who knew? You know. And so
I remember you
it's kind of
playing
like
a. Oh, go ahead.
no, so it's kind of like revisiting that over the last few years was very interesting. And instead of being into the exotic, Indian drones or other out shit, going back to that and forcing your ear to be like, wait, what actually do you hear in your head? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if so, yeah,
So, okay, I gotta. We got like 8 minutes.
yeah.
Two things I've always followed. First off, you are the like as far as somebody I know, the most influential uh, musician that I've ever met, and I've met a couple of others. I've always been around myself because I find learning by like being around people that are better than you, and you always were, But but I always somehow like not all the time. It's not like I'm stalking you. I'll just get really shit faced one night, and it's like, huh. It's like, and
So
then it's
date
like, uh, fucking Jesus speed. How the hell did you get
oh
involved with
God,
that?
yeah, right. Hey, that was a fun time. We had a good time.
And
That was that
where
was
did y'all record that video? It was like the Knitting
that
Factory.
was the knitting factory in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That
And to
was that
find,
was
mind you, I did not look that up beforehand. I don't do no research. A friend of
yeah.
mine used to go to shows at the Knitting Factory that lived
Yep.
in Alphabet City, and so he
Uh-huh.
would go there, yeah, and a couple of other places. But yeah. So
That's a
how
good
did you hook
spot.
up with that drug addict?
Oh, it was yeah, it was well, it was I had a recording studio in Jersey City when we moved from finishing Berkeley. I was there doing some stuff, and I was like, and my brother found this awesome building in Jersey City, big warehouse thing, and I was like, I'm gonna go build a studio, and he's a sculptor. He was doing all the stuff for sculpting downstairs, and I had the whole upstairs, so I built the whole studio, and did a bunch of stuff, and one of the drummers that was with another band, he lived down the street. He's like, hey man, we need a bass player to fill in for this gig we got, and this was some random gig. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. And it was just a good time. You know, these guys, they just like to party. So we'd end up, I ended up sitting in, and then we ended up doing their demo at my studio. So I learned all the parts, bass, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had another guitar player, but the other guy didn't play much. And I remember stopping the band and being like, you guys just play it. And they went to play it, and I'm like, you guys aren't even close. So they fired the other guitar player, and I started playing 12-string bass.
12-string, yeah, yeah. Was that your 12-string?
I don't have it anymore. I got my six. I made myself an
Yeah.
8-string one, but my 12-string got stolen from a rehearsal space. One of those classic stories.
That seems about right.
Yeah,
I'll be real quick. Doug Pennick
That's enough
from
memories,
King's
guys.
X had that 12-string, and he's still my favorite bass player of all time. Doug
The
Pennick, man.
sound those guys get, man. I never realized how heavy they were and how much a big or Cheap Trick. It's how much a big
Oh
part of
God,
it.
yeah. That guy invented it, I believe.
He
So
did. He actually kind of did. And then there
yeah.
was one part where in the Allman Brothers, the bass player, he actually played a 16-string bass. So
Holy
instead
shit.
of three, yeah, there was a little time when that guy, it was instead of
He had
three
four?
strings, it was four. So it was a bass,
Yeah.
instead of an octave and two like mandolin strings above it, his
Yeah.
was like the low, the guitar, and then the two mandolins. It wasn't much. He didn't play on it much, but that dude was a badass, man. I mean,
That son of a bitch had some calluses, I bet.
for some big flat paddle ass hands, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Tell me about Fog Lizard.
Oh, Fog Lizard. That was just a fun thing
That
where
just seems fun. That just seems like a
yeah,
fun
that's
fucking
all
group.
fun. We used to get. We had a
Where's
thing
Billy?
where
That fucking video cracks me up so much. And then
that's what
when you brought up Joe Rogan, like with this
Joe Rogan. I was ahead of my
right
time.
now, there's that
We were ahead of our
freaking
time.
yeah. And I remember, goddamn. Um, oh shoot, um, stinking up the joint, drink scotch
Oh,
whiskey,
oh,
deucing
yeah,
up the joint,
no, yeah, oh God, yeah. Deucing up the joint.
deucing up the joint, drinking scotch whiskey. Yeah, yeah. Loose ships,
208 to 2.
sink ships.
No, sinking ships. So that was, yeah, so that was funny because that was I don't know which version you heard, but the singer on that was Matt Wilcox from Mexican Elvis. He was another Jersey City. He was an awesome dude.
Holy shit!
So that band Mexican Elvis they were awesome, man. So
Yeah.
he got and we but yeah, the Fog Lizard thing was where I played mostly baritone guitar in that, or octave below guitar. So I was
Yeah.
either on a baritone or I was on.
And that was like a lot of country musicians use that.
Yeah, tic tac bass kind of thing. So the idea with that one was me and the bass player Kenichi would be doing more harmonic stuff between us on the low end, and then Alan was in the middle doing the guitar stuff. And so
I always
our
thought
thing
that
was,
guy didn't look American.
oh, Kenichi, yeah, right. He's Jamaican and Japanese. Yeah, he's badass. He's a badass bass player.
Oh
The,
hell yeah! And I
he was
think I
in a
met that
band.
drummer one time. You and the drummer,
Thank you,
did
Zach.
y'all have that little practice space that y'all
Yep, that
split
was the
with
spot we
somewhere?
did it all. That was the spot where we recorded all that back in the day. That room with the high ceiling kind of in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
That was
Shit.
so we used to do that was back in MySpace days. And so every Monday night we would rehearse, write a song, and then the next week, I mean, we'd get together, write the riff, record the take. The next week we'd get together, write the lyrics, record the lyrics, and that night I would put it on MySpace, and we'd do that every week. And then sometimes
What
we do
good
different
practice,
bands.
man.
Yeah, every Monday. It was like we had to kick out, you had to write the song, right? And the next week you had to write the lyrics, mix it down, done, see you next week. And we had all these offshoots with the same band, but we had all these offshoots, and we just put it all up online. You know?
What's your favorite color?
Damn. See, I don't want to be obvious because it seems, it's funny because it used to be kind of that like a purplish thing, but what's with all of the fucking
Periwinkle.
podcasters?
Your favorite color is periwinkle.
Is that a periwinkle like the purple in your
It's a
thing back
purplish
there?
hue. Do you like
Yeah,
a
but then
dark
lately
purple?
I've been more into like the aqua blue thing lately. I don't know why.
Do we Prince purple? Oh, so we're
Like it
going
is
kind of
now.
a deep purplish.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, well now it's like what your thing, your candle in the back of there is now. That's a good
Yeah.
color right there.
It's